What's up everyone, NanMan here, and we're going to be talking about the future of RTS. There are two great games in development in the RTS scene. We've seen a little bit of one of them, and that's Immortal Gates of Pyre by Sunspear Studios. We've seen some gameplay, we've played it a bit, we've given away alpha keys, so I haven't done like too much into it, so we're going to watch a little bit of a video, do a little reaction, and then really get into discussion. The second one is Stormgate, which is developed by Frost Giant Studios. They got to see some trailers come out and some little gameplay stuff, little cinematic stuff come out at Game Fest, the Summer Game Fest, as well as the PC gaming event that took place. So we've got a little bit of videos and clips to be able to go through and show, and then we'll talk a little bit about both of them and go from there. So let's start at least with Immortal Gates of Pyre. Last month they put out like with the launch of Alpha, they did a little video that showed, hey, here's how we've progressed over time. I don't want to pull directly from the Game Fest stuff because people have already seen that at this point. So in case you have not seen it, I want to at least highlight, because I keep talking about how different the games are in alpha compared to where they're going to go. So let's jump into it and see this, and we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Is more than a game to me.
I think we need a new strategy experience.
What are the next steps?
And look how different that is. Like, even the dervishers right there, like Zephyrs look pretty similar to what we expect them. The blink is huge, so that's a much bigger distance than what they were now. So like, just unit changes in development, and now we're starting to really get into it. The 2020, get some great map makers in there, developing some awesome maps. But the whole point was like, look at how much the game is developing in this alpha stage, and how I'm really excited to see where it's going to go, right? We've only got 2 of the 3 races that are in there, so it's like still early on things. They're missing some different voices, different textures that are in the game, but it's at a good start.
We're going to show the world that strategy games are for everyone.
And we're going to continue to develop and to learn and to grow.
Creating something really familiar and yet very unique is extremely exciting for us to develop.
I'm pretty happy with the maps that they have in the alpha stage at this point. It's like, oh, here's smaller maps, 1v1s, here's some 2v2s, right? And yeah, just look at the environmental textures and stuff of it. It's very heavy in the texture side of things, with just how beautiful it's looking. Part of that's just, you know, the way that they're developing the game. I mean, even in this trailer, you can see just how micro-intensive the game is. All right. Okay, so real quick, let's talk a bit about Immortal Gates of Pyre, then we'll jump in and talk and see a little Stormgate thing. So, you know, this channel that you guys are watching on have seen different stuff, right? We've done like the campaign for StarCraft, we've done like a history of StarCraft, we casted StarCraft. Like, RTS is very much involved in the channel that you're watching. But now that we're seeing new companies create new RTSs, I figure we can branch out, and it's not just StarCraft, right? And that's what we're starting to see too, because if you guys have not seen, we are back to streaming, twitch.tv/TheRealNanMan. And we're doing RTS related content over there. We're doing a 3-day-a-week schedule. Monday is for Magic the Gathering. Tuesday and Wednesdays are for RTSs. So we have done a couple of Immortal stuff over there. We're going to do some more, because I'm generally just having fun with the game and learning it. Like, the one thing that I really like about the game is the hotkeys. Even though they're different than any other RTS, they are very easy to learn. It's very easy enough. Once you play a couple of games, you start to pick up on, oh, okay, so the hotkeys work different than any other RTS, in that you only really need 4 or 5 buttons to be able to master how the hotkeys work. Where in like StarCraft and things, you're like, oh, I need a location hotkey, I need a building hotkey, I need an army hotkey, I need all these different things. Where this, it's like, well, if I press Z, it selects all of my production facilities, and I can just produce any units from them. All right, if I press C, I will select a worker and build something, and it doesn't make you have to select a worker, because that's the nice part about Immortal, is that it'll grab the closest worker, grab him, throw him down, build that building. All right, where you don't have to constantly be making workers in this. It's like because the game is much more micro focused about getting out there, creeping like in Warcraft 3, but instead of creeping to get XP and level up a hero, you're creeping to get a third resource, which is that Pyre that you need in order to cast your spells. And I really like the way that they're doing spell casting in this, because it's very, very difficult to balance spellcasters. You can give units spells and abilities, right? We see the Zephyrs have that blink ability, but balancing that compared to, oh, I can cast this one spell. Rain of Blood is a very powerful Aru ability, you know, but it's, instead of giving one unit that ability, you're saying, well, this is what my Immortal gets to do, and it's like their ult essentially. So it's the way that they're doing it is really cool. It's like they're pulling from these ideas from different genres and meshing them in there. So like if you like a micro intensive one, this is something you should test out, and we keep talking about it because I generally enjoy it. It's not sponsored or anything like that, but we have been doing giveaways for alpha keys so other people can get in and play the game a little bit. But it's really, really cool to see where they're going to go, because right now there's already co-op stuff for it. Little micro battles where you can sit here and say, okay, we both have a starting building to produce units. I'm going to draft a couple, you're going to draft a couple, then we'll do a little micro battle, see who wins. Just tested that out the other day, and it was a lot of fun to kind of start to learn, oh, okay, these units are better than these units, and it was a little bit easier on kind of learning, okay, this is strong against this does really good anti-air, this one not so much, and you know, you're balancing your armies and getting used to kind of micro battles and stuff. So you know, there's a lot of little things that they're adding in these alpha stages that are going to draw people in and help teach people it. So really, really happy with how Immortals is going. But let's slide over. Let's watch another video react, because Stormgate has their developer update, and we finally get to see a glimpse of gameplay. It's not very much, but it's something. So let's get in and see that and talk about that. Already with that, like, hey, developed by StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 3 people, it's going to draw you in.
Build a brand new real-time strategy game. Together, we've been fortunate to work on some of the greatest RTS games of all time, and now we have a chance to do it again by creating the next evolution of that legacy. Today, we are so excited to share a first glimpse of Stormgate, an exclusive sneak peek into the universe and game that we've been creating for you.
Even this looks more like cinematic than
all-new
gameplay.
post-apocalyptic setting where science fiction and fantasy collide. Our story begins hundreds of years in Earth's future, following the near extinction of humanity. This great calamity was caused by the Infernal Host, a playable alien race of demonic invaders that are hell-bent on claiming this planet as their own. With our story, we are creating an ever-expanding game universe, told through an ongoing series of campaign missions that you can play solo or cooperatively. New chapters will come
Ongoing?
out regularly, along with new units, maps, modes, and plenty of other surprises.
That makes me
In
wonder.
addition to campaign missions, we're building a world-class competitive experience with grassroots.
Is it going to be
professional
something
tournaments
more
accessible
like
from
Sea of
directly
Thieves, where they're like, okay, developer update, like here's a monthly,
for all
boom,
levels of experience.
little story thing,
In
like
our
Tall
new
Tales
three-player
aspect,
co-op
or
versus
like,
AI mode, you'll level up
ooh,
your
gameplay.
heroes, collect rewards, and customize your forces to open up new styles of gameplay and long-term variety. Stormgate will be free to play, but not pay to win, and there will be no NFTs.
I like how they have to
Testing
put that in
starts
there.
next year, and you can sign up
So we got a
now
year.
to reserve your place in line at playstormgate.com.
All right, so a couple things to unpack with that. Like the video that we got to see there was basically the little mini video of the clips, or not the clips, the pictures, the screenshots that we saw at Game Fest. So now they got to show, okay, now you can see the units actual shooting and moving around and stuff like that. My initial thoughts, some things that I really like about it is being able to do co-op with multiple people, or the campaign with multiple people, because there's plenty of times that I'll be playing StarCraft 2 with somebody, and it's like, okay, if I'm playing by myself, I'll spend a lot of time doing the campaign right now. Every now and again, I'll play 1v1s. If I'm playing with another person, just two of us, we're playing co-op. And then if a third person jumps in, it goes, well, I guess we will play a different game or rotate co-op stuff, because most of the people that I'm playing those games with are more casual with RTSs, and they aren't wanting to do, I want a ladder, I want to play 3v3s, I want to, get into it and stuff like that, where it's like, I'll play co-op because it's fun and I can, mess around and not have to stress about it. So being able to pull them in and do a campaign or do a 3-person co-op sounds awesome to me, and I really like that idea. The campaign ongoing stuff is making me wonder, like, we've seen previous campaigns for other RTSs, right? If we're thinking like Warcraft, StarCraft, stuff like that, even Age of Empires, it's like, here's the campaign, boom, 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 laid out all the missions, and now you're done. Now, in StarCraft 2, when they did the co-op, they would add in, here's new co-op missions. Is that what they're thinking about doing as part of the campaign? Here's co-op campaign. Like, it brought up a lot of questions on, does your start to finish not really matter, right? Because it's like, it's an ongoing story. It's not really finished, right? It's not like, oh, you saved the day and this happens now, or oh, a bunch of people died and this happened, right? So it seems like a kind of a mix and leaving a lot more questions. But I liked the graphics that we're seeing. All right, there's 2 races that they've talked about. We've got these kind of human with their mechs, and then we've got these demons. So it's, seems that kind of hybrid, which is similar to what we're seeing with Gates of Pyre, right? It's kind of like this hybrid of, there's futuristic and then there's not, right? Oh, with Immortal, you've got these guys that are throwing spears and using their bows and arrows, and but there's also these kind of futuristic little flying like units and stuff like that, where this, it's like, okay, they're very futuristic with their mechs and their guns, and not futuristic at all. So it's this hybrid of fantasy and sci-fi. So there's lots of parts of it that I'm enjoying and really liking. So I'm really just interested to see, because it's a whole year before we get into beta, what stuff we're going to start to see, what other little nuggets of info and stuff they're going to do. They talked about esports, and I think that's the way to do it. Grassroots is the way to go. Even with like Immortal, when they're in their alpha and pre-alpha stages, they've been doing 1v1 tournaments and 2v2 tournaments, but it's not like they're forcing people into it. Stormgate talked about how there's going to be built-in ladder, not really ladder. They said built-in aspects to help with tournament functioning. So I'm curious to see what that's going to look like. Is it going to be bracket systems, right? Oh, sign up for a tournament, boom, you're put into this bracket, you're put into this like lobby or whatever. So I don't know. I think it's grassroots is the way to go for esports of it. But I'm very excited for both of these games. Both of them are going to be really cool to be playing through and learn more about, since we're shifting this channel in particular to be more RTS and just gaming in general, but heavily focused on RTS, especially with the way that we're redoing our stream stuff. But that's going to be it for this little reaction. We're trying something a little bit new with it. If you wanted another look at the first look of what we thought about the Stormgate announcement, you can check it out. We did it over on ES Champ's channel, so you guys can see there'll be a link for you to check that out as well. But thanks so much for tuning in and watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next game.